Hey guys, Alec, Peirce, Tech Tips, Scuba Tech Tips. So, I love the comments. I get lots of comments on these. I mean, certain topics obviously are more controversial. I get more comments, and other ones are, anyway, I love the comments. One of the reasons I enjoy reading the comments is because some of them are pretty comical. Comical comments. Hey, Kevin, we should have different categories for the comments. Comical because I've heard some of these same comments for 60 years. I started diving in 1958. Do the math. I've been diving for 60 years, over 60 years now, and I hear the same comments. So some of the comments that my instructor, Al Hawking, made in my scuba class in 1960, I took the scuba diving class. I hear them today. Not the same people, obviously, they're all dead. But I do hear people say the same things, As long as you only use one tank of air, you can't get bent. As long as you never pass the smallest bubbles on the way up, you can't get bent and stuff like that. All kinds of them. Lots of about equipment too. Oh yeah. That's what we're going to deal with today. So we're going to do a series. Kevin and I are going to do a bit of a series called Scuba Myths. I don't like that word. I have trouble saying it. I don't know my tongue. Myth. But scuba misunderstandings. How's that? Myths, things that people believe and say but aren't true about scuba diving. And here's the first one. Myth number one. I can't say that, Kevin. You have to come up with another one. Myth number one. Myth number one is that if you have a full scuba tank in the trunk of your car and you park it in the sun, you're going to blow up. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. If you have a full scuba tank full of air and you put it into a really roaring bonfire, and leave it there for a bit of time. I stand back a little bit because the burst valve is going to blow and it's going to be noisy and everything else, but it's not going to blow up. First of all, tanks have a built-in safety valve, but that's not my point. The myth is wrong. The myth is wrong. Now, everybody learns, not anymore, they don't learn Charles's Law anymore. Oh boy, in my class, and in my first classes I taught in the 70s, you not only had to know Charles's Law, you had to be able to quote Charles's Law with two examples, and you had to know the year he was born, the year he died. Anyway, there are all kinds of what they're called the gas laws, and you had to learn them all. Some of you older guys remember this, but Charles's Law says that if you increase the temperature, you increase the pressure. Quite true. Charles was no dummy. If you increase the temperature, you increase the pressure. So that has now been extended by somebody to become that if you have a scuba tank full of air and you leave it in the hot sun, it'll blow up. Well, one, I already said it won't blow up. It's got a burst disc on it. They don't blow up anymore. Secondly, it won't even blow the burst disc. Because, again, Charles was no dummy. He put a limit on it. No, he didn't. But there's a limit as to how hot these can get. If this tank is 3,000 psi. Remember, this is not a 3,000, but if we use a standard aluminum tank, because everybody understands what a standard 80 is at 3,000 psi. Standard 80 at 3,000 psi, and that is always measured at room temperature because tanks are filled at or to room temperature. So 3,000 psi at 70 degrees. Okay, good. You take it out to your car, and you put it in the trunk. And then you park it in the sun, and you live in Florida. The temperature is going to go up inside the trunk. The pressure is going to go up. Charles said so. There's no way around it. But how much is it going to go up? Well, the highest estimate that I've been able to find, and these are largely estimates, because different people use different formula to figure it out, but the highest estimate I've been able to find is it might increase by 4 to 5 psi for every degree. All right, let's do a little bit of math here, okay?
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit, yes. So if it increases, let's take the worst case scenario, 5 psi for a 1 degree increase. See, this is in the trunk of your car. It was 3,000 at 70. Let's take it up to, let's double it just for fun. Let's take it up to 140, okay? So that's a 70 degree increase. It's not likely in the trunk of the car it gets to 140. It's not likely. But let's do that. So it's a 70 degree increase. 5 psi per degree, 5 times 70 is 350. So this tank is going to go from 3,000 to 3350. From 3,000 to 3350. Well, the burst disc is set for 4750. The tank itself won't explode till 10,000. Even the burst disc won't. It's going to be hot when you take it out. It's going to be 140 degrees. It's going to be quite warm. But it's going to have to get a lot hotter than that before there's any damage to you or the tank or your trunk. No, sorry guys. Scuba myth number 1. If you have a full tank, a full scuba tank, and you put it in the trunk of your car and park your car in the sun, your car is going to blow up. No, that's a myth. Not going to happen. Sorry. Talk to you again. More myths coming. Myths, I'll work on it. More scuba myths are coming. Alec Peirce, Tech Tips. Talk to you soon.